All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. A few weeks ago, I posted a video on here which covered this guy pretty extensively. This is the GC1 3-step movable aider by Backwoods Mobile Gear, designed specifically with the tethered one stick in mind. It works in conjunction with the Hawk Heliums and also the Skeletors. But in that video, twice I referenced tree climbing safety, and more specifically how we as saddle hunters, we can use our lineman's belt properly, which will help us to navigate the difficulties of balance that comes with a 2 or a 3-step aider such as this one right here. And so in this video, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to point out 3 tips that you can do, or 3 ways that you can utilize your lineman's belt that will help you to navigate the tree, ascend up the tree, all while gaining the most amount of stability and safety as you ascend. Once I have my stick and my aider attached to the tree, I take my lineman's rope, which is girth pitched to the left side of my saddle. I throw it around the tree. I attach it to the right side of my lineman's loop. And from there, I do the very first recommendation or tip, and that is this: I induce slack into my system. Now, I want you to know this, one, that each one of these tips or recommendation builds upon the other. So when you do number 1, it helps you to achieve number 2, which helps you to achieve number 3, which then allows you to climb safely and stable. And so again, they build on each other. And now I know when I say induce slack into your system, that will raise some eyebrows, because when you hear of your lineman's rope, the last thing you want to hear of is you're climbing with slack in your system. Hear me out for just a moment. When I first started climbing, I would lean forward, I'd throw my rope around, I'd attach it to my saddle, and I would stand about 12 inches, 14 inches away from the tree. And at that point in time, I would stand in a vertical position with the tree. Now, what would happen is as I'm trying to lift my leg, I can only lift my leg, my foot, about a foot off the ground before my knee cranks into the tree. I then have to fight it, try to lean to the side, try to lift this up, but that would pull me closer to the tree. And so early on, I found myself really fighting the system right off the ground. There were times where I would try to climb and step up, and my lineman's rope was getting caught because of how tight it was. And so over the course of time, I just slowly evolved to, right off the bat, my first move with my lineman's rope is I induce slack into the system. And I was watching an arborist video about climbing safety, and the question was asked, how much slack do you want? The answer was this: that you want enough slack in your system to where you can still reach out in front of you and you can work on whatever it is you're working on. Now, that will vary per your arm length. For me, that's about 18 to 20 inches. This is a 15-inch step to step. If I put that to the tree, you can see right now I probably have 3 or 4 inches to my stomach. So I'm at 18 or 19 inches right now, and I can easily reach up and do the work that I need to get done. And also what this does here is, right off the bat, it keeps you from fighting your system, struggling off the ground and as you climb. And look how easy it is for me now to get into my aider by doing this. I simply grab my aider, I lift up my leg, I pull my aider out, and it just goes right into the arch of my foot where I want it. It was that easy. Just simply hold my aider, lift up my foot, pull my aider back, and boom, I'm in it. And so the first recommendation is find out what the distance of slack is you need in your system to where you can still reach out in front of you and do the work that needs to be done, okay? And I'm going to explain the slack comment here in just a moment. But when you do this, put your foot in the aider, toe into the tree, that sets you up for the second tip, and that is this: simply grab your lineman's rope. You're not going to take a step up. You're going to grab your lineman's rope, pull your weight back to where you can stand on your right leg, and then from here you're going to take your lineman's rope and you're going to advance it up the tree as high as you can get it. Now notice how when I'm pulling it up, I'm actually lifting with my toe on my right leg, and then I'm setting my weight. I'm setting my weight into my saddle, okay? And so the second tip is advance your lineman's rope to where there's a pretty steep grade like this, as high as you can get it. And what that does is it positions you for the third recommendation or the third tip, and that is this: that when you go to step up, do not climb your aider like you're climbing a ladder. And here's what I mean. I'm going to climb it like I climb a ladder, straight up. I stood straight up, and you can see what happened immediately. I have no weight on my lineman's rope. It wants to fall down to the ground. And so this is where I see people in videos, I see them climbing, and they climb their aider and stick like a ladder. And they're always contending. This is the whole point of this video. They're always contending with slack in their lineman's rope. Boom. And now they have to reach down. They're holding onto the stick, holding onto the tree. They're lifting up. Look how much slack is in my lineman's rope right there until I lean back. And so if you have yourself too tight to the tree, when you're up here in this position, you're fighting your lineman's rope on the back of your tree, leaning and taking steps. So again, the first step, give yourself some slack. For me, it's 18 inches or so. Then off the ground, lean forward, use your rope to pull you in, get your balance, lift up your weight a little bit off your toes, and then sit back into your lineman's belt. Now, this is where we're going to go. Again, do not climb like a ladder, but when you go to push off, you're not going up, you're going back and up, okay? So I'm going to show you how that is, and watch the tension on my rope here. Toe into the tree. I simply pushed weight into my saddle, which brought me back and up. And you can see right here, I can put my second foot into the aider, and I can gain a pretty respectable amount of stability by doing that. And so now the next move from here is you're not going to hang on and climb up again, because if I was to just step up into here, see that? My lineman's rope wants to fall. But from here, let me put it back to where it was. But from this position, what I'm going to do is my hands on the top step of my stick. I'm going to pull my weight in, just like I did with my lineman's rope on the ground. I'm going to pull my weight in, and I'm going to advance my lineman's rope again behind the tree, like so. So now you can kind of see, hopefully I'm not too far out of frame, but you can see the grade. And then from there, again, both hands on the top of the step, toe into the tree. I'm not stepping straight up, I'm stepping back, pushing back. Toe into the tree. I'm going to use my right hand on my stick. I'm going to advance my lineman's rope again, and now I can take a step onto the stick. When coming down, I'm going to again gain hands-free stability. Take my time. I'm going to pull my weight towards my stick off of my saddle just a little bit so that I can drop my lineman's rope about 5 inches. And immediately my weight goes back into my lineman's rope, hanging on, and I'm going to drop down, find that step, and again, my toe is into the tree, okay? Look at the position of my lineman's rope. I am never fighting my lineman's rope. I'm always keeping tension onto that, and you can only do that by utilizing the weight on your saddle. So again, I'll go down, I'll drop it, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, hanging on, maintaining stability, and then from there I step down. When I'm on the ground, again, look at the grade angle of my lineman's rope. So another thing that I want to point out here is that after you induce slack into your system, you can still reach to it. Your foot's in it. You pull your weight up, you lift it in, and now you're supported by your saddle. If you are just climbing straight up like a ladder, you're actually inducing pivot into your foot. Here's why: because if I just take a step straight up, my lineman's belt falls to the ground, and at this point in time, as I advance my lineman's belt, my lineman's rope, there is no weight into my saddle. 100% of my body weight is on the bottom step of my aider, which then goes into the tree via my toe. And so you can see the potential and how if you're stepping up your aider like a ladder, you're inducing some form of rock, and it's bringing a lack of stability to your whole climb. So from here, we're never going to allow slack off of our actual lineman's rope. Push out, I'm leaning back. And even by doing this with a 3-step aider, there is some type, if I can hold on up here, there is some type of ability to move. But again, the point is 100% of your weight is not on your aider, it's on your saddle and your aider. And so again, advance it, and you will find that when your lineman's rope is actually at this steep grade angle that you see right here, that it is very easy to achieve hands-free, climb or hands-free adjustment, whatever you need to do with your lineman's rope position like this. It really, really stabilizes you. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys, 3 recommendations for using your lineman's rope while navigating a 2 or a 3-step aider. Start off by giving yourself just a little bit of slack. Lean back from the tree. That allows you to easily find your foot placement on your first step. And then also that puts you into position for the second move, and that is to lift your lineman's rope up as high as you can on the tree and lean back into it. By lifting up your lineman's rope to as high as you can get it and leaning back into it, that puts you in position for the third and the final move. And that is this, that when you push up, you're not climbing your aider or the stick like a ladder. You're pushing away from it, distributing half your weight into your saddle and, of course, half your weight into your aider. And by doing these 3 things, you will find that you can maximize stability when using a 2 or a 3-step aider. As always, if there's anything I did not cover, any questions you have, drop them in the comments section below. And until next time, good luck to you.